What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have like and sub, and let's get into this. Well, much like a sore tooth, a barking dog, or an STD, I've ignored something far too long, and now I have to deal with it. This story right here, Genshin Impact. I saw this the other day. This developer basically is coming under fire for, let's say, drawing inspiration from certain cultural groups, indigenous populations, and then just not outright making them brown or black. And that's got some people feeling a certain way. But the more as I just set this up and brought up, the tab so we could go through it, the more this screams of a Sweet Baby Ink playbook of, oh, this is what Kim Blair, when she said, if they don't give you what you want, i.e., blacking and browning up all your characters. If they don't give you what you want, you take the legal team and the marketing team out for coffee and you terrify them of the PR nightmare it will be if you don't get it. This is the PR nightmare that she was talking about. And I don't know if it's a nightmare because it seems like, I mean, the people that are upset are the people upset, and we'll talk about that. But a lot of people are saying that this is a nothing burger. And again, it sounds like a Sweet Baby Ink thing. So here we go. Genshin Impact boycotters claim the game is attempting to eradicate minorities, but implicitly tell players to continue to play the game. And obviously, we are no shortage. We are not shy on petitions, all from that hashtag Free Stellar Blade, which I think they sort of learned that lesson. And we've also got that Assassin's Creed Shadows petition going on, but from actual Japanese players. This, I really feel, is like they, on the other side, they learned the tactic. And so now they're trying to use it. And it looks like it might be working, at least in part. I mean, hey, we're talking about it. So here's the petition. It's almost at 50,000. Started July 7th, though. So, about a week ago. Stop cultural appropriation and whitewashing in MiHoYo games. If you look at the top supporter voices, it definitely seems like a lot of people who would defend some Sweet Baby Ink games just saying. So it says, why this petition matters. We call on MiHoYo to stop cultural appropriation and whitewashing in their games and to commit to respectful and accurate representation of all cultures in the fictional fucking game that all of these cultures maybe inspire but aren't actually in. So that was the point of this one. And I can almost guarantee you that the people upset about this probably see no problem with Yasuke being in Japan and that culture being misrepresented. They're upset that more it's very interesting of which cultures they're defend, but we'll continue. MiHoYo, a leading game development company, has repeatedly taken inspiration from indigenous cultures without proper well, see, inspiration is just that. Inspiration. You don't have to properly represent something if you're inspired by it, not actually depicting the real thing. In particular, the many characters from Sumeru and Natlan in Genshin Impact and other games, basically, who are all clearly white and or only lightly tanned at best, with the exception of some enemy NPCs, which has sparked concerns of racism among players and indigenous communities. Why do you give a shit? Why, if you look, Africa had like a bunch of video game companies and they had their own, if they were an ethnocentric thing like a Japan was, where most of the people are one ethnicity, that would be fine. But I really give a shit about white culture. If they had someone that was like Hicks or something from the or rednecks or something, I'm gonna be upset. If they take something from Puerto Ricans, I'm gonna be upset that they put actual Puerto Ricans in their fucking fictional game set in an African style setting. You gotta stop, dude. Not everyone deserves representation all the time. But you know who does deserve representation? The people of the goddamn country that it's actually set in. I.e., the people that the country of Genshin or Assassin's Creed Shadows, i.e., the Japanese. It's not for other people to complain about a lack of their representation in a game that's not even really for them, even if that country is perfectly happy for you to play it. So here's the problem. They keep going. They say cultural appropriation and whitewashing. Excuse me, not whitewashing. You're not supposed to do that either. But whitewashing perpetuate harmful stereotypes. Why does it have to be whitewashing? Just saying. Perpetuate harmful stereotypes and diminish the rich cultural heritage of indigenous communities. These practices not only misrepresent cultures, but also, it sounds like I'm doing a fucking Sweet Baby Ink sensitivity reading. So that's their petition. Again, 48, they're almost at 50,000. This is the other account. And this is the one where I was like, oh, this is a Sweet Baby Ink account. This is a consultancy company type account because HYV Boycott, And it's fine. I mean, look, Grums was doing this sort of thing for hashtag Free Celebrate. So I'm not saying there's not organizers, but when you go on and you see more deranged of what this actually said. So here's the dudes, review bombs, like and retweet, don't make additional purchases. There's a whole rule. That's fine. They've got clearly they've got some sort of tactic that they're going here. But as we go along through their tweets, I think it's safe to say that we've all had enough of the erasure of our cultures and identities. And so this is the account that is going through it and, clarifying what you can and can't buy. But when we start getting into the preachy stuff here, there's been a distinct lack of darker skin tones represented in the game. Characters in these cultures are actively being heavily referenced, but are being whitewashed. Again, going on to the cultures, going on here. I mean, I guess at least all this sounds like a sensitivity reading from Sweet Baby Inc. Here, look, disabilities are also underrepresented in the game. So we need, who cares what your story or your world is? We need more people with disabilities in your fictional world where people go to escape from the real world. You need more things to remind them. Revise existing content to ensure accurate representation of a fictional culture that they've drew inspirations. We want you to accurately depict a culture that you have no idea what it is because the game company is the one that made it up, but you want it to be accurate to something they just drew inspiration from. George took inspiration from Japanese culture when he made the Nemoidians. Should that be accurate to Japanese culture, even though they're fucking Nemoidians inspired by the Japanese? Certainly their voice. I might be on the boycott too now. And here we go. Continues the wah. For centuries, minorities have been the subject to attempted eradication. Today, they face the dangers. This is basically saying that it's erasing minorities because the fictional Asian video game took inspiration from ambiguous different cultures and then didn't make them specific to the ambiguous cultures that they took inspiration from. And here we go. This is how you know it's a Sweet Baby Inc. type of thing. Anytime you hear colonial or colonialist, this is an old colonialist tactic used for centuries by omitting them from media where you do not see or hear from these minorities. Their silent disappearance from the world is something that Genshin is insisting. I'll tell you what, one thing we have not seen in the last 4, 5, 6, even a decade is is not seeing or hearing from minorities. It's rather startling how much startling, how much you do actually hear. So the underrepresented groups are hardly underrepresented these days. Normalizing the idea that black and brown people, something in the game, that's not what that's doing. That's not what I've seen anyone doing. In fact, it's quite the opposite, quite normalized now. And again, just more preaching here, racism, blah, 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 which, yeah, that is true. Actually, racism draws from fiction and falsehoods. Shame that they keep pushing them. And then again, scholars and historians, you know what they're going. You know what they're doing. All language classes have students analyze and comprehend the meanings behind authors' works. Yeah. Oh my God, J Swift. No. Yeah. This is reading pretty deep into a video game company that just drew some inspirations for their characters. So yeah, I'll keep you up to date on this. I will say I have spoken to many a melanated friend, and they have all said that this is fucking ridiculous and they don't know what they're talking about. Never had any problem with the game. This is coming out of left field. And again, it smells of a Sweet Baby Inc. tactic of if they don't give you what you want, take out your marketing team and terrify them of this. Let's see. Anyway, let me know what you think of this. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're gonna do that, thank you. Well,
bye.